Just because my CEO wife said she was trying for a baby, everyone looked at me strangely. After all, they all knew I only married Mu Xingwan because I schemed and got her pregnant with twins. And now this whole baby plan clearly didn't seem to be for me. Everyone waited for me to flip the table, but I just walked up to Mu Xingwan with no expression. Then I put my wedding ring on her first love's finger. The person you didn't want to let down? Now you don't have to. The second I said that, I handed her our daughter, who kept calling that jerk dad, and left with my son. That night, Mu Xingwan tried everything to comfort our crying daughter, but nothing worked. 2 years later, I had just put my son to sleep when the doorbell suddenly rang. In the heavy rain, a secretary begged me anxiously, "Sorry, we're trapped here. My boss's daughter has a high fever. I heard you have children's fever medicine at home. I'll pay any price for some." I coldly turned her down. Outside the door, the secretary was so anxious she kept stomping her feet, explaining they weren't bad people. She even said her boss was Mu Xingwan and they'd pay anything if I could help. Mu Xingwan. That familiar yet distant name belonged to my ex-wife. Hearing those 3 words again after 2 years, I froze as bitterness surged in my chest. Suddenly thunder cracked outside, scaring my sleeping son awake, so I dropped my phone and rushed to comfort him. Hearing the crying inside, the secretary quickly tried to appeal to my sympathy. "You're a parent too. Could you please help us out?" "Please save the child." I hesitated. Even if those 2 children had been cold to me, they were still my own flesh and blood. 10 minutes later, when I opened the gate, the secretary gasped. "Sir." I stood behind the door with a blank face and shoved a bottle of fever medicine into her hand. Then I coldly corrected her. "I'm not your sir. Take the medicine and leave." In the back seat of the black luxury car, a woman was holding a burning hot little girl. Her eyes were locked on me through the rain. Just as I turned to leave, the secretary spoke again. "Don't you want to see the 2 young ladies? They actually talk about you all the time." I only left 1 sentence, "Forget it. Maybe there's no need anymore." The woman had just opened the car door and heard my answer. Her beautiful face instantly darkened. "Ye Chen." I didn't even pause. I shut the gate and went back inside. Mu Xingwan stared at my back, and the scene from our breakup 2 years ago flashed through her mind. Looking at the worsening storm, the secretary said worriedly, "Driving in this weather is too dangerous. I'll go into the village and find a family to stay with for the night." Meanwhile, I still couldn't stop worrying about my sick daughter. Suddenly, the secretary started banging on the door again and shouted, "Sir, this is bad. The little girl's fever is worse and she threw up everywhere." My defenses collapsed again. I gritted my teeth, opened the gate, and let the miserable group in. The next morning, I slowly opened my eyes. After a whole night of chaos, Ye Ting and Ye Xiu's fevers had finally gone down. Knowing they would leave today, I didn't bother arguing about the 2 kids staying over. Just then, Ye Ting, usually spoiled and precious, took out her favorite toy and gave it to Ye Boren. Ye Boren happily tugged at her sleeve, hoping the big sister would come play with him. But Ye Xiu suddenly screamed from the side, "Don't give that toy to that boy." Not long after, Mu Xingwan walked in and heard Ye Xiu crying loudly, so she hurried over. Seeing her sister cry, Ye Ting also wanted to comfort her, but angry Ye Xiu shoved her to the ground. "I don't want a sister. Why don't you go play with that bad man's son?" Mu Xingwan quickly held the fallen Ye Ting in her arms, then looked at Ye Xiu with a dark expression.